All right, customer walks in and says, I need one pill that'll alleviate 30 years of depression and diarrhea. Talk about more about that later. Anyways, this is all about niacin. I'm going to tell you about niacin and why you should be taking it. So first of all, niacin is also known as nicotinic acid, which is part of the nicotine family. So it's familiar to you, sounding as like nicotine kind of deal. There is some trace amounts in cigarettes and there is in coffee, but those are terrible sources. It's not going to give you enough. Don't use those to get your niacin vitamin B3. So other than that, it's super good for mental health and for all kinds of health needs. Abram Hoffer was an individual who treated people with mainly just niacin and vitamin C. So he usually prescribed people to 3 grams of niacin daily, along with double the amount of vitamin C in divided doses. So I actually follow those things, and for me, in the morning, I take 1,000 milligrams after breakfast and 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C with it. It's really good for alleviating a whole bunch of different things. I'll tell you a little bit about it. So one of the things is that it can lower your cholesterol if you take the original niacin. There's other versions out there which are a non-flush version, which is niacinamide. I don't suggest you take that if you are interested in the health benefits of reducing cholesterol. A niacin flush is going to open your capillaries, and your blood is going to flow from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet, and it'll feel really hot. And you may experience a slight histamine response, which means you could get some prickly feelings or some itching. But the vitamin C reduces that greatly. And the best thing to know is that the more you take it, the less the flush gets. You won't have to have as much of a effect. It'll go down dramatically. Other than that, it's funny because I was talking to a individual the other day, and they told me they were allergic to niacin. I was like, oh yeah, what happens? And they said they have a flush, basically. And I laughed and said, oh, everybody has a flush. Some people actually won't have a flush, and that indicates they actually need higher dosage in order to get the therapeutic effects of a niacin flush. Let's see here. So there is also a time release version, which I've seen studies that indicate it could produce some type of liver damage, so I wouldn't suggest taking that. Other than that, there used to be a disease in the South that affected the South of the United States. It was called pellagra, and Abram Hoffer said that pellagra is clinically the same as schizophrenia or bipolar. The only difference being that pellagra is a deficiency and schizophrenia or bipolar is actually a dependency on niacin. So he also talked about how there was an individual, I believe he treated, that he prescribed that they take as much niacin as they needed until it alleviated their symptoms of hearing voices. And this individual took 60,000 milligrams in one sitting until their voices stopped. Other than that, it's really good for your heart health. It's really good for reducing stroke possibilities and heart attack. I've seen and heard of studies saying that it should suggest it reduces by up to 90%. Anyways, back to the pellagra. Pellagra in the South was what led us to fortified foods when we put vitamins inside of the foods, like bread. And Abram Hoffer would do speeches all over the place, and he met Bill Bright, who was the founder of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And Bill Bright had over 30 years of depression himself, I believe, maybe 20 or so. But in 1 week of following Abram Hoffer's suggestions, he completely reversed his long-standing depression. Other than that, like I said in the beginning, the whole diarrhea thing, it's too much like people to want to just take one thing and not give a crap about their health, whereas they'll probably spend more on football gear or something. Other than that, movies, whatever. But yeah, that's some of the basics about niacin. If you guys have any questions, I would highly suggest you check out the book at your local library or just go buy it or get your e-reader on. It's called Niacin, The Real Story. It was compiled by Andrew Saul, all about Abram Hoffer, and so much good information from those guys. Andrew Saul has his own website called dryourself.com. He's written several other books. One of them that is my favorite is called Fire Your Doctor. But yeah, so that was a brief little introductory thing for niacin. And if you guys have any questions, leave a comment. If you want to see any other videos, please leave a comment. I guess the final little tidbits I'll throw in here is that it can help reduce anxiety, and it can also help you with focus and decisions. Like, some people can sit like at a menu and look at it for 5-10 minutes and still not know what they're going to get. And as a matter of fact, niacin can help you make decisions faster. And if you're like ADHD, it may be beneficial to help you also finish projects that you have, that you started, that you didn't finish, for whatever reason. But yeah, I could just go on and on. There's so many benefits of niacin. It's something everybody needs. It's something everybody, in my opinion, should take. Maybe not in the same 3,000 milligrams amounts daily that I take, but if you're getting the flush, then it's doing something good for you, in my opinion. And anyways, guys, like, share, subscribe, comment, and thank you very much.